Hello, welcome to this News9 Sports Special. I am Hardik Agrawal and here I have with me News9 Sports Editor Sandeep Mishra. As Dutee Chand fails to qualify for the 100 meters event at the 2022 Commonwealth Games, Dhanalakshmi Sekar is riding steadily, having assured India's representation in the event in Birmingham. In this show, we will talk about the pivotal shift in women's 100-meter sprint scenario in the country. We are joined by Prashanth Ganesh, who runs an academy for athletes, Dutee Chand's coach N. Ramesh, and Manikanda Arugamam, coach of Dhanalakshmi. My first question to Mr. Ganesh. Dhanalakshmi has qualified for the CVG 100 meter. That is a fine achievement for an athlete who has barely been on the senior domestic circuit for more than 3 years. How would you rate her journey till now, Mr. Prashanth?
So once again, thanks for the opportunity, Hardik and Sandeep. My name is Prashanth and I run this foundation called Athlete Foundation that helps, it's an NGO that helps underprivileged athletes back in Tamil Nadu. So I've seen Dhanalakshmi's growth from her village, which is very tiny. And for a woman like Dhanalakshmi, it is still considered to be taboo to wear shorts and run on a track and then get qualified in sports. It's very difficult, and she's being raised by a single mother. The family circumstances are very bad. To get a spikes for Dhanalakshmi, it was actually a dream. It will take 3 years for Dhanalakshmi to get a pair of spikes in the state that she was. So we try to handpick athletes like Dhanalakshmi through Manikanda Arumugam, and that's how we found Dhanalakshmi. She's a prime athlete who comes to ground no matter what it is. Sunny, it's rainy, it's windy, doesn't bother about anything. She's there on the ground 4 o'clock, no expectations, trains harder than any athlete, goes back home, helps her mother in her household, and then comes back in the evening and then trains. So we've seen her right from stepping into the Federation Cup back in 2020 and then making it to the Olympics. Now 2 more medals in the Turkey Invitational in Almaty, and now to Commonwealth Games is not a joke for a girl like Dhanalakshmi. Now she's being a forerunner. I think I should say a torchbearer for many other women like her who are longing to get into sports from a village. And we did nothing. We just got her a few spikes, shoes, protein supplements that is required for an athlete, and that's all we did. And all she did was say thank you. And one word that I still remember one word that she said before qualifying for the Olympics. So she had to run this 200 meter for qualifying, and then I asked her, will you be able to do it? And this is what she said: if I'm going to die, I'm going to die on this field, and then no matter what, I'll still qualify for the Olympics. And then there she did it. So she still stands by the word, and then she's taking it forward. So very great in mentoring her and then seeing her journey. And all credit goes to Manikandan Arumugam, who expects nothing out of these students who come and train under him. So all credit goes to him. We've just been at the back trying to give her all the motivation that it takes to.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Ganesh. The next question is for Dhanalakshmi's coach, Mr. Arumugam. Her timing have improved quite a bit, Mr. Arumugam. She recently ran 11.26 in Turkey. What are the changes that you have brought in her training?
Sir, good evening, sir. Dhanalakshmi, very hard worker, but Trichy, no facilities. Camp companies, no facilities. Sir, you
Tries to say here is he says that there were no facilities given, but I think Manikandan Arumugam is also India's bronze medal winner. So I think he constantly tries to keep up with the international standards, talks with various other coaches across the AFI, and then he tries to implement it in the training sessions. So every time she runs the race and then she tries to beat the clock, it sets another standard for her. So he keeps in touch with all the international athletes across, tries to get connected with on Instagram, tries to get tips on that, and then tries to implement it on her and improvise it. But the only setback with respect to Trichy is it does not have a ground, it does not have training facilities. There's no tech involved, so it is all manual stuff, and that comes with a lot of experience from the other coaches as well.
Right, Mr. Prashant. So, we all know that CVG will be tough. You have runners like the 2019 world champion Dina Asher-Smith, who has run below 10.9, and if the top athletes from Jamaica and Bahamas come, it will be really tough. Can Dhanalakshmi reach the CVG semis, Mr. Prashant?
I think I lost you for a bit, Hardik. Can you just go back? I think I lost you for a bit there.
Yeah, sure. CVG will be tough, we all know. You have runners like the 2019 world champion Dina Asher-Smith, who has run below 10.9, and if the top athletes from Jamaica and Bahamas come, it will be really tough. Can Dhanalakshmi reach the CVG semis?
We definitely hope so, because every time she's been running a race, I mean, she's trying to set a new standard in the international arena. So we do believe that she will get qualified for the semis as well.
Right. Moving on to Ramesh sir. Ramesh sir, are you worried a little looking at Dutee's form of late? She has not been at her best, while others have been steadily improving.
No, it's no worries at all, because anytime she can clock back. It is a matter of time.
Okay, there is some technical issue. I will carry on with Mr. Sandeep in the studio here. You have followed Dutee's rise, and she is still the national record holder with a timing of 11.17 seconds. What is the way forward for her, Sandeep?
I think if you really look at the career that she's had since 2014, when she had issues with the CWG at that time, which were resolved with time, the court cases and everything, she has risen from there. You've got to understand from where she comes. And as Prashanth says so correctly, you also have to understand from where Dhanalakshmi comes, They come from a world where running is an alien concept. They come from a world where you don't have shoes, you don't have grounds, you don't have tracks, you don't have anything. From there to come run 11.17, from there to come run 22.89 in the 200 is nothing short of a miracle.
Right.
We speak about CWG semi-finals. For me, it's more like, running in the Commonwealth Games is like a massive achievement. Running at the Olympics is a massive achievement. But the way forward, like you're asking about Dutee, is very simple here, and it probably fits even Dhanalakshmi here, is that unless you go abroad, unless you start training abroad, unless you get that level of competition where you might do 11.15, 11.14, 11.12 or even 11.10, not because you are running faster, not because your training or your coach is tremendously good. It's also because the rest of the 7 runners on that 100-meter track of 8 are also probably better than you. And only then those timings go up.
Right.
I think what has happened in the last 1 year or so is a very simple thing, is that most of the runners have been at home. But off late they have been going out. I think Dutee needs to move away a little from what she doesn't have to what she can have. There's a huge difference in this. I can always cry about what I don't have. But what I can have by trying hard, by training hard, or by doing something which is slightly out of the box is what really matters. And I think that's exactly what Prashanth is speaking about when he speaks about Dhanalakshmi. And I think probably Ramesh, in a way, if he is listening in, I mean, if the technical issues have been resolved at that end, I think would also agree that, going out has advantages. So I think those areas, if they can do something about that, then if the Asian Games is held and at the 2024 Paris Olympic Games, you can expect her to do well. But leave the Olympic Games out of the equation right now. If she can improve on 11.17, if she can do something on the continental areas, then I think she's achieved what she can actually achieve and do more. I think that's the main point here.
Right. We have Ramesh sir back in the studio. Ramesh sir, as I was asking you, are you worried a little looking at Dutee's form of late? She has not been at her best, while others have been steadily improving.
not at all worried because it's only a matter of time. Anytime we can run that timing and better than that. As Sandeep said, because I always believe compete abroad because we are doing compete abroad. But I feel always train at domestic and compete abroad. That is my experience and formula.
But Ramesh sir, if I just come in with a question here, I do agree that running domestically and then, uh, doing well internationally is definitely something that you believe in, and we have had conversations on this. If I just ask you something, that would a lot more international competitions out there help Dutee get away from that 11-17 and do much more, get into the Diamond League, get in more camps and get in more competitions in Europe? Even if they're not A, they could be B and they could be C. It's just a question. I mean, it would be great if you could answer on this.
No, that's what I'm telling. Competing abroad always helps us. But I'm telling training at domestic and competing abroad always is a good for us. That's what, because we definitely agree. If she has done better at international level, whether you say world universities, she's the first woman to get a gold at world universities, competing along with Germans and all world class, because the research says those who became a world universities medalist, they went on to become an Olympic medalist. So that is then Asian Games, 2 silver medals. And consistently every year she was breaking her hope. 8 to 9 times she has broke her own record. And I hope, according to me, she's have a potentiality of running 11 below. But it's a matter of time.
So I'll just bring in another facet into this. You just said that she has the capacity and the capability to run 11, 10 and below. Is there any form of, or probably a change in training methods that you are already thinking? I mean, just to put a footnote to that, I think what Dutee has achieved is primarily because of you. I've seen you work with her. I've seen the amount of stuff you've done. I've seen over the years how much you have given in terms of time, effort, everything to her. So the question here is there going to be a change in some form of training, that the way you said that she can run below 11-10?
That's what you clearly said, because see, one of the training methods expert says, anybody can train anybody for 1 year, but training for more than 7-8 years and maintaining at international, that is called long-term training. Because if you see her, she's been on the international arena from 2013. She got Asian track and field bronze medal, and it is a 2022. So there is no year has come down. It is a matter of some, because she was suffering little last, I think, after Olympics and all. She's having some stiffness in that. So, but she's there. Anytime she can run 11-1, 11-2. It's not a big matter. And training methods, it's fine. Only we required is the international competitions more and more. Their lives. Because I always believe up to 20 years, it is a training makes the performance go up. After 20, it is a competitions make you a high level performance. This is what my experience is.
Right. As you have followed her career closely, Sandeep, you have also written a book on Dutee Chand, Fiercely Female. So do you feel that she can make a comeback in terms of timings and also qualify for the Paris Games?
Yeah, I do. I mean, we can have a slight cloud of pessimism around timings that have been recently, and I do agree completely with Ramesh. I mean, as I said earlier, I've seen him work. It's something that somebody has to give an extraordinarily, of something that can bring an athlete to the fore, and that's what he's done with Dutee. So Dutee has the talent, there is no doubt. She has the perseverance, she has the willpower to go out on that track and look at a particular timing, like Ramesh said, 11-10 and below. But to do 11-10 and below requires a very different level of competition. He's right, you need the competition. What probably Ramesh didn't say is, how do you get that competition? I think for that, there is a lot of bureaucracy to battle with, there is a lot of financial issues to battle with. So if Ramesh and Dutee can sit down and probably prepare their document that can take them to the B and to the C level tournaments, where at least you get a competition that is good enough for for a lot of runners out there, especially if she reaches a final and if she's got people who are running 11.5, 7, 8, 10, 11, then you surely improve. And I think that's the way one can get to the Olympic Games. And probably that's probably what Ramesh is thinking of. I mean, we both can sit in the studios and chat and have conversations about this, but it's Ramesh who's doing the work on the ground. So I think that's the direction he's probably going to. If she qualifies for 2024, then I'm very hopeful because she has a massively explosive start. She's got a good middle run and she has a great finish. If you see the last one, I saw the last 2-3 races, she's caught up. Running fast is one thing, holding on to running fast and going up till the end is another thing. I think she has that talent.
Balancing the speed.
Absolutely. Now it's up to Ramesh and Dutee how they combine forces now, because this is a new segment. You got Dhanalakshmi in. That's massive competition. And that's happened for the first time in Dutee's career in the last 4 to 5 years. There's somebody out there pushing, and not only pushing, winning against her. So what she does now is what she will eventually do at 2024. So the present is hugely important for her in that sense.
Right. Another question for Ramesh sir. A lot of athletes have been training abroad. Do you feel that this is where Dutee has missed out? Competition, training abroad and a consistent training program?
No, not at all. If it is, if she might have been, we might have been missed training, how can we from 2022 to 2022, 10 years, we are at international level winning. So there is no question of missing. If you miss the training, you might have missed long back, and you see how many athletes are going to maintain 10 years. That is another question. So it will tell, and any athlete can maintain like a Dutee 10 years at international level, winning Asia level, anytime it's a medal. And second thing, because Sandeep ji also knows many, because she has some nightmares staying in the camp. So that's why we train exclusively alone, because she doesn't want to, I don't want to explain more on staying in the camp. She has the nightmares and she feels very uncomfortable when she's in the camp. So that's why Federation has given us free hand train. Then before any international competition, last month we come and do a relay and we run for relay, because that's what we are doing from 2016 onwards. That's what happening. And I hope we can crack into the better timings. It's only the matter of time. But I always believe international competition circle is a very, very important, because I told after 20 years of age, it's the competition develops your performance. It's not the training.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Prashanth, Mr. Arumugam, and Ramesh sir and Sandeep.
Thanks.
This was a fun show. You gave us some incredible insights. That's it from this episode. We'll be back again with more interesting news from the world of sports. Till then, follow us on our social media platforms. This is Hardik Agrawal signing off.